What's up, everybody? In this video, I'm going to be showing you this super cool automation that allows us to create a recurring schedule for our clay tables. And so what I mean by recurring schedule is going to vary depending on your use cases. For example, something that you might want to make recurring is the addition of new companies, people, or jobs to an existing table. So normally you would have to do this manually, filter list of companies, jobs, or people, and then preview companies and then add them to the table that you want. We are able to automate that. And obviously this comes into play when we're talking about open jobs, right? We can automate the checking of open jobs and the addition of open jobs to existing tables. But that's not going to be the main focus. The main focus is going to be how to create a recurring schedule for column runs. Let's get into it. So we've got a few columns over here. When we attempt to run column, we're going to get a few options. One of the option is going to be choose number of rows to run. Another one is going to be run all rows that haven't run or have errors. And another one is going to be force run all 50 rows. What we do not have is schedule a run into the future. And that's what I'm going to be showing you. And I'll explain the use case in a second. But first, let me do a quick demo. So we've got this enrich company over here, and I'm going to do a quick run to show you that this is live. And we've just enriched a company not found. Anyways, let us use this automation right here. So this uses this URL endpoint right here, which grabs the table that we're looking at over here. You can make this dynamic, obviously, but I'm just doing it for this video like this. And then we're using a patch method and using this request content over here. And so we're actually going to make adjustments to a few records. And so we're going to adjust 5 records and we're going to start at number 10. Obviously, you can run the entire clay table if you wanted to. That would be up to you. And so starting from number 10, we're going to run 5 records. And so let's run this once. And when we come back here, as you can see, this is queued. These ones were missing input, so they were never actually going to run. Let's do this again, and this time let's start from number 3. So this time let's start from number 20. Let's start from number 20 because why not? So let's scroll down, right? So number 20, it's over here. We don't have anything, and let's actually make this bigger. So instead of 5, let's do 10. Let's do 10, and let's go ahead and let's run this once. And so now we've got a bunch of them that are queued. You can obviously run the entire row if you want, and you can do all these other things, right? So you can what I'm using is choose number of rows. You can do this, and you can do force run all 50 rows as well. But the addition that we're doing is we're scheduling, and the scheduling comes from make, because inside make, you can choose the intervals that you want to schedule your runs. And so you can run this every day on a specific day of the week, day of the month, whatever, right? And so you can use your brain, start to use your imagination to think, when would this come into play? I already have a use case for this internally that I use, but that's probably too complex for this video. I'm going to focus on the use case of the person who reached out to me. What they reached out to me is they typically have a bunch of contacts in the same company, and what they want to do is they want to create a rank for every single one of the contacts that they have, and then they want to schedule a run date for that contact into the future. And so as you can see, we've got this person over here, and we've got a run date. So this is May 25th, May 26th, May 27th, all the way up until June 3rd. And inside the column for the run, we have a run condition. And the run condition basically states only run this if run date is before today. Now, this is going to give us an error, right? So obviously, like, run condition not met. But let's say I was to actually change May 29th to May 16th, right? So we've changed that to May 16th. It becomes queued and it works. But here's what the challenge you're going to run into. These dates are static, so they're not going to change just like how I did it. we would be adding all of these dates using the fields that I'll be explaining in a second over here. But they're going to be static, so they're not going to be changing. Therefore, an automatic run is not going to happen. So what it actually looks like in practice is the date comes by. So we're going to change this date. So June 1st, we're going to change this to a date before the 25th. We're going to change this to the 21st. But as you can see, nothing happened. So this is what it's normally going to look like. The date passes and this keeps staying in run condition not met. That's why we need to use an automation like this, which comes back every single day to rerun this column. And so what this is going to do, instead of force running all 10 rows, we're going to simply run all rows that haven't run or have errors. And so it looks like your message, it looks like this. And so those ones, they're not going to rerun again. We're only going to run the ones that have not run anyways. Actually, I know why that happened. That one is because we had made some changes. We're only going to be running these ones over here. That being said, here's another cool thing that you can do. You can create different filters. And so one of the things that they do is they use smart lead. So you can use smart lead, add lead to a campaign, and once you add the lead to a campaign, um let's just do this and then email. It's too complex. Anyways, um, once you add a lead to a campaign, you can create a filter to only show the leads that have not been added to campaigns. Therefore, this automation, like the mistake that it just made over here, because we changed the GPT prompt, it ran this again, it wouldn't actually make it again because this is based on the view, right? So you see view ID right here, it's based on the view ID. So if the view, if the column is not in the view ID, it's not going to work. Therefore, how we ran this and this one, that would not happen again. Let's get into the workflows and let me show you how that works. So this is how they set up their clay table. They got a bunch of companies. They enrich all of those companies. They get descriptions. They get all of that cool stuff. And then they use the find contacts at companies. And so this find contacts at companies, what does it actually have? Does it have any? It doesn't seem to have anything. Um, Yet we're not finding any profiles, which is actually kind of funny. Um, let us run a few more profiles over here. So these are all being queued. All right, we found 9 people. Let me run. Okay, let me run a few more because it didn't seem to actually work when I. So we've got 26, right? And so all of these are queued. I'm gonna add a filter that shows if only the find contacts are there. So find contacts and companies has results. Boom. Okay, so this is enough. We don't need anything else. So this is what their workflow looks like. They have a system that finds contacts at specific companies, and now they want to rank those contacts and then reach out to those contacts. And so you can do the same thing. You don't even need an enriched company. You just need to do this. Find contacts. The next thing you want to do is you want to extract the field from the object. And so one of the fields is a title. You can do this again for a location. You can do this again for anything. And the fields that we are extracting are coming from the modules over here. And so as you can see, we've got people, an array of people, and they've got titles, right? And so if we were to run this, right? Let's run this for all of these contacts. We're going to return the titles. So sales director, director of HR and logistics, all of these different titles of potential people that we can reach out to. You can do this again for the location and whatever else that you want. And the reason why, by the way, all of this is important is because we have a prompt that looks something like this, which basically states that using this list, rank these contacts in a numeric order based on the length of the title. You're not going to actually use length of the title. What you might do is we have a job posting with this job posting title with this job description in this specific location. Analyze all of these 10 contacts and determine who the number one most ideal person to reach out to is, or just rank all of these people from 1 to 10 or 1 to whatever, right? And based on all of those criterias, if a job posting is in Seattle, it's a sales role, and it's a junior level role, we're going to reach out to a salesperson in Seattle that is a little bit more senior. Anyways, I think you get the point. As opposed to reaching out to someone in Canada or someone in South America, right? Like if we've got two VP of sales, we know which one is going to get the priority based on this type of prompt. And so the next thing you want to do is you want to have a current date variable, but this does not seem to work, right? So I used this current date field, which basically says, um, actually, that AI formula doesn't matter. This is the main thing that matters. So just give us the current date, but obviously, like it's not really giving us the date. Otherwise, this would be populated, right? And so you're going to need to have a workaround for something like this, and there's an infinite amount of workarounds, but I'm not going to get into them because I just yeah, I'm not going to get into it. But this is the idea, right? So you would have the current date. I'm going to actually just choose a date. So we're going to choose a date over here, which is going to be the 25th. So just like that, right? Like we you just put a date. Because the formula like that I used, that doesn't really work well. But anyways, I think you get the point. So we've got the dates, and now these can run. Once this runs, we are doing a few things. One of the things that we're doing is that we're saying output this in JSON format and have these following fields: title, rank, run date. Um, you can have more fields, of course, right? But these are the ones that we're just doing for testing purposes. And what this is going to do is output a list of contacts. And by the way, in order for it to look like this, you need to check this section over here. So you need to return as JSON object. You need to turn that on. Next thing we want to do is we want to send all of this information to a different table. So let me input that. So we find the ChatGPT response, and we've got the contacts. We want to insert all 9 items, right? And so we've got the rank, we've got the title, we've got the run date. So save and don't run. We're going to delete these 10 rows, and then we're going to run these. So now we should get 20 new people here. So 20 new people are coming in. These people are from different companies. They're going to be from different companies. Actually, not 20 new people, so 9 plus 2, since yeah. So we've got 11 new people, and the dates, as I had shown in the inside the formula, is going to be separated by 1 day. So this is the date, go up by 1 day for each contact. And so if we go back to the output of the GPT prompt, founder and owner is the lowest, like it's the shortest based on the prompt that I had given it, and assistant manager. So if you look at this, the title gets longer and longer and longer as this proceeds, right? Let's do it. I don't need to do it. You guys get the point. So the title gets longer, but in addition to that, the run date gets higher. So we start from the 25th, and then we go to the 26th, and then we go to the 27th, and then we go to the 28th, right? And so you can make this like 3 days separate, a week separate, all of that stuff. And from there, we go here, we put the run dates, and we have that prompt. So I've already shown you how all of this stuff works, and that's it. That's it. And so this automation would simply come in this section over here to ensure that we're running. By the way, this is the first module, auth login. You put your email, your password, your source. This is the second module. You put the HTTP module. You've got all of this request content. If you want to know more details on how to actually set this up, check out my YouTube channel, as I have a tutorial for that. Cheers!